Hi there. I am Jennifer Elizabeth Masters, and I am a soul sculptor. I help you break the mold of past trauma and heartbreaks so that you can live the life of your dreams. Now, recently, I had a sinus infection, and I will tell you a little bit about it in just a second. And where did it come from, and what did it turn into? Pneumonia. And why, and how I used it to heal deep wounds from long ago. So I'm just going to share this. If you come online and you can share this with your friends, I would sure appreciate it. I'm just going to take a moment here. Find it. Where the heck is it? Here we go. Hello, Karen. Welcome. Share it to a page. Okay, so you've heard me speak about my mother, and I will say it doesn't matter whether your mother was a narcissist, a sociopath, borderline personality disorder, or not, but our mothers, which all of those things are true of mine, but our mothers are actually probably the very biggest person in our lives for impacting especially our relationships, our friendships, our romantic relationships, intimacy, whether we bond well with others, our confidence, the way we feel about ourselves. So our mothers are actually the pivotal relationship in our world, and whether they're living or not, they still have a tendency to impact us even from the beyond. And so we're going to talk about that in just 1 second. So just give me 1 sec here. Oops. All right, so this was, I guess, this coming Friday will be 2 weeks since this whole thing started. My mother is, she's an old lady. She's 97 years old. So she's been around a very long time. And so, yes, very impactful in my life for, of course, a number of years, all my life. I'll tell you a little bit about my mother. She was an orphan at 5, and every one of her sisters has the same attributes. They're all broken, and every one of us has our own wounding, but being an orphan at a very young age could have a tremendous impact. And so I've had a lot of compassion for my mother over the years, and I continue to do so. However, what I will say is, though, having a mother that's a narcissist, it means that, that we are their source and supply, and I am the scapegoat in the family. So no matter what has happened to me over the years, and plenty has, I am always the one that is blamed for ruining everyone's lives. And so that's been the dynamic. Plus, every time I would call my mother, she'll call me stupid or criticize me in some way. She has destroyed numerous relationships and marriages in our household, in our family, with her criticism, which is unending. And so narcissists are imperfect. They will never sympathize. They will never apologize. They're always right. They always know what's best. And if you do any research about narcissism, all of these things are very true. And then so what can happen is if one of our parents was a narcissist, we then go along and attract narcissistic relationships. And I've had a number of those as well. And okay, so I'm going to go to the sinus infection. So my mother is extremely concerned about manners, and if she gives a gift, she expects a thank you note in return. And that is called giving with strings attached. So when we actually give from our heart, if our heart is open, we give and we don't expect anything in return. And so that's not the way my mother gives. She would give and expect a thank you note. And so she's very concerned about manners. But on this particular occasion, after calling me stupid a few weeks prior, I called her and she was rude to me. Interesting. Someone who deems politeness and manners are, the order of the day, and we must be polite, and you must send me a thank you note, that she could be rude. Well, but, she's always right. So she was rude to me, and I didn't say anything. It's very difficult to say something to a narcissist and be heard. I mean, look at Donald Trump, right? He loves to be applauded. He loves it when people love him, but if you criticize him, he can't handle that. And so I had a really hard time. Excuse me one second. I was angry. I felt very angry and disrespected, and I didn't say anything. And so a sinus infection, according to Dame Louise Hay, I love Louise Hay. It is, still to this day so appropriate for healing. So sinus infections are caused by angry words left unsaid or unspoken, and usually someone close to us. So I didn't speak. I didn't say to my mother how angry I was. I didn't say, you were rude to me. Well, there's really no point. And so therefore what happened was I repressed the anger. Repress means I kept it inside. I didn't get it out. I didn't punch a pillow. I didn't write a letter. I thought about it. I didn't do anything to release the anger. I kept it inside, and then within just a matter of about 24 hours, I had a huge sinus infection. Like the last one I've had was over 6 years ago. And so, I'm just buttoning this door here. So the sinus infection, you get head pain and sinus pain and lots of congestion and coughing. And so by Wednesday, I knew that this has gone beyond sinus infection and had become full-blown pneumonia. And I almost died last Wednesday night. And I'm not kidding, I'm not exaggerating. It was a very scary thing. I kept coughing and I couldn't catch my breath. I couldn't inhale. And we need oxygen to survive. So, excuse me one second. We need to breathe, we need to drink. Hi everybody, thanks for being here. I love that you're here. Thank you for coming. So, I'm still recovering. I am not at my very best, but I feel like it's really important for me to share this with you while it's happening. I posted on my story yesterday, or maybe the day before, me sick. Excuse me one sec. I'm going to cover my microphone so you don't hear this. Pardon me, everybody. So, I am much better today. So, okay. So, sinus infection, angry words left unspoken, pneumonia is wounds that won't heal. And, 65 years I have suffered under my mother's narcissistic thumb and criticism. And, I've worked very, very hard to love myself. This has been the cornerstone of my life's work, loving myself, teaching others how to love themselves. So how do we transform an illness and allow ourselves to heal? Well, so I recognized I have to change the way I behave. I cannot have a relationship with someone who continues to put me at risk for illness. Excuse me 1 second. Bless your heart too. So there are some people in this world that we just cannot have a relationship with because they're so abusive, and that's what my mother is. She's so abusive. So the only way that I can have a conversation with her is by letter, so that I can send her a letter, I can tell her I love her, and I do. She is my mother. However, and I will say a new children's book is coming out of this. It is a fantastic story. I cannot share the title. I have shared it only with my oldest children. But I'm very excited about this children's book. It's going to revolutionize the princess industry. It is. Okay. So, wounding. Our mothers give us our greatest wounds. My mother has a contract with me. Most of us have contracts with our mothers. My mother's contract with me was to show me, show me, show me. You got to love yourself more. You got to love yourself more. You got to love yourself more. So what did I do? So I softened. I didn't beat myself up. I didn't continue to say, well, you stupid woman, why do you keep trying to have a relationship with someone who's a narcissist? You know it's impossible. Excuse me 1 second again. So, hi, Shannon. So we can love our mothers, but maybe we can't have a relationship with them because they're just not capable. And if I almost died trying to have a relationship with my mother, is it worth it? I would say no, it is not. If she cuts me out of the will, so be it. I know that my life is more valuable than trying to have a relationship with someone who continues to abuse me. So we have to love ourselves and accept ourselves more than the person who is showing us. So I've softened my gaze. I have loved myself more. I have let go of. I can't change her. I cannot make her something she isn't. I accept her as she is, but I can't continue to go back to the well that is going to continually hold me underwater. Does that make sense? So healing pneumonia, it took acupuncture, massage, reflexology, acupuncture, and herbs. And within 4 hours of taking the herbs, the infection has been moving out. And of course, I'm still weak as a kitten. I had pneumonia. I almost died. And so, are you grasping that if you have someone in your life that continues to abuse you, continues to do you harm, that staying in that relationship is causing you harm, and if you suppress your emotions, like I did with the sinus infection, if you're not able to speak your truth to someone because, they won't hear it, they won't allow it, they're just going to abuse you even more, then you have to let the relationship go, even if it's your mother, even if it's a parent. And so, we have to be okay with them being where they are, and no, we cannot change what is. It's more, I cannot change what is, and I love myself enough to keep myself out of harm's way. And so keeping ourselves out of harm's way means not having a relationship with abusive people. And, my brothers, if they were listening, they would say, well, we've been telling you, Jen, all these years. So our mothers are our pivotal relationship. They're our first pick. They're very important. And if you have questions, I'd be more than glad to answer. What else can I say? So the bottom line is that every single one of us deserves love, and we have got to give love to ourselves first. We are our first concern. We have to take care of us before we're able to take care of others. The more that we love us, the more that we're capable of loving others. And we're training people every single day how we want to be treated. We have to think about other people like a puppy. How are you training this puppy? Well, by me continuing to go back to my mother after she's abused me, I'm letting her know it's okay to abuse me. And so by not calling, by not visiting, I'm also sending a very big message. Now I am not expecting anything back. There's nothing to come back. And if you have a question, because it has been asked, how do you win with a narcissist? You don't. You cannot. You cannot win with a narcissist. Because a narcissist has no sympathy. They have no empathy. They will never tell you they're wrong. They think they know everything. And so they have a feeling of superiority. However, so that is the false persona that they create. But underneath is the broken inner child that didn't get loved, that didn't have the presence, that didn't have the attention. They didn't get the nurturing, and that's why they are the way they are. And there's no fixing them. You cannot change one. You can't win one over. And so we all have plenty of lessons to learn in our lifetime. And the contract that we have with our mother can be dissolved. And I've dissolved my contract with my mother. My time is up. My time with my mother is up. I cut the cords. I cut all cords. I pull all cords. I release you with love. So I release you with love, Mother. And so anyone who continues to hurt us or berate us, and so the pattern is established. It's a pathology that, so when we are mistreated as a child by our mother, the very person who teaches us about love, when we're mistreated by the one who is to love and nurture us, then what we do is we think that all love must hurt. We think that love equals it's showing you my vulnerable side. But here's the thing, is that we all grow stronger by sharing what we've learned. Maybe I can help you by sharing my story of, I tried 65 years. I kept trying and trying. There was no appeasing the dragon. There was no appeasing the ogre. There was no making her happy, although I did try. It wasn't possible. I cannot give enough to a narcissist to make them happy and to fix them. We can't do it. And so our reason for being here is really to simply love and to love ourselves. And when some of the people in our lives we hit a wall with, some are here for a reason, a season, a lifetime. And now just because my mother has extended her life beyond her what is reasonable, she's 97, I will not regret that I've not spent time with her at the end, because I've given my all. I've given everything I could possibly give, and I'm not about to give my life to her. It's not going to happen. Okay, so I hope this has helped you. I am still recovering from pneumonia, and sinus infections rarely, very rarely, turn into pneumonia. It was my lucky day that it did. And I'll tell you, I am very grateful for the gift because it has given me the opportunity to set myself completely free of this chain of narcissistic abuse. I am free, and I hope that you will be too. And if anyone has a question, you can write it in the chat. Otherwise, I am going to say blissfully, mwah, I love you, and I hope this helps. If you did get helped, share it with your friends. Please do. Maybe it will help others that have had brushes with narcissism. And here's the one other thing about narcissism. I'm an empath. I feel what my clients feel. I sometimes taste, I taste food, or I smell their perfume across the world. I've talked to people in Italy, in France, and London, and I've smelt their fragrance or what's cooking on the stove. I'm an empath. I feel very deeply. Empaths and narcissists, see, there's the thing. So narcissists have no boundaries, and empaths have to learn them. We have to learn how to be, how to protect ourselves. We have to learn boundaries because we tend to give and give and give. And so, I remember a few years ago I said to a friend of mine, I have to guard my energy. And he said, oh, nonsense. And I said, oh, yes, I do. Because, if I have 6 sessions a day, how much it depletes me. Oh, let's see. Thank you. Thank you, Victor. So empaths and narcissists, we often have narcissistic parents when we are true healers. We have a narcissistic parent because they're to teach us that we need to have boundaries, that we need to really learn to love ourselves completely and also not give too much. So empaths have a tendency to give way too much, and then what good are you? So take care of yourself, take care of you. This is a time when we're coming into the 20s, oh my goodness, 2020, the roaring 20s, the energy is going to be so different. And so stepping into deep compassion for you, deep love for you, deep acceptance of you and what is, it will lead to the ultimate, the restoration of your true self, being who you truly are. You are a radiant being of light. You deserve love. You deserve happiness, and you sure deserve health and wealth. I love you. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah. Thanks for being here.